All right, hello everybody,
All
and
right, sounds good.
welcome to. This is not longer. This is the Anthony Riley Dumpster Fire show. I have with me two special guests. I have with me Geo Strebber. Say hi, Geo. And I have with me Soundly. Say hi, Soundly. There you go. And we, if you have hopefully seen the
Hello.
hangout. Well, you've hopefully seen my video, and then you've hopefully also seen the hangout with Anthony
Hello.
Riley and GeoStrebber and Soundly. So we are here to just keep beating up on Anthony Riley because we can. So that's kind of the plan. Before we get started, I have one quick announcement, which is that this week's Longer and Harder is obviously not tonight. It'll be Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon. It'll be a Halloween special, so come join me Tuesday night afternoon for Halloween special, Longer and Harder. And with that said, that's really all I got to say. So I'm gonna give the floor over to Soundly here, who is hopefully you can see his screen, which isn't showing up on my side, so maybe you can't see his screen. Haha, there we go. Do the things correctly. All right. So, I'm going to give the floor over to Soundly, who's got a few things he wants we're going to clarify before from his hangout. And then after that, the floor will be open, and hopefully we'll have a few other special guests show up after that. So, Soundly, take it away.
All right, sounds good. I mean, I don't have anything really super specific, I guess, but the one thing that Riley keeps bringing up is compression and how that somehow invalidates an image. I just like to remind everybody that when you whip out your cell phone and take a picture, you're getting a JPEG, or most of the time you're getting a JPEG. And I'm pretty sure that everybody is pretty happy with the quality of those JPEGs and that they do, in fact, reflect reality. It's really not something that I think too many of us even look at as credible. But we keep ending up in these conversations with Anthony Riley where he just drives the conversation by word salading everything, and then constantly, moving the goalposts and contradicting himself. Really, why do we waste our time doing that? Because he's just never ever going to come around to evidence. I mean, evidence like this, evidence like this. I mean, I can take a picture, and based on his standards, he can just deny it. And if that's the way it's going to go, well, then no one has any evidence, because everybody's evidence is compressed across the internet in these hangouts. I mean, every time we do a hangout and there's video live streaming, that's being compressed and being sent to the other person, another participant. Chances are some people are getting a lower quality video than the next person. So because it's being compressed, it's being displayed in the most user-friendly fashion possible. But it doesn't take away from the subject of the photograph. It doesn't take away from the subject of the video. And that's the point I'd like to bring out, is that whenever I showed Anthony this picture today, right here, I mean, I went outside. I literally went outside. I was taking a picture of sunset. I'm sure you guys, or some of you guys, have seen my everyday observation series with sunsets. And this was a picture taken during sunset, and you can see clearly the Earthshine coming through on this moon right here, taken with the P900. Now, I took that picture, and I literally uploaded it to my computer, and it synced to Google, and that's it. I've done nothing else with that picture, but that is not evidence for Anthony Riley. And if that's what we're gonna, if for people that abandon reason like that, there's really nothing we can do. So it's
I had
like,
one
why are
question
we
for
going
you,
to
Soundly.
continually
So did you invent
give this guy
Earthshine,
a floor?
Soundly?
Because he doesn't deserve one. That's my opinion. That's really my rant and everything I wanted to say. No, I did not invent Earthshine. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, it's been
How do you get
around for a
Earthshine?
long
Because I don't
time.
like I know
I think
of it, but I'm
1800s. I think
not
Sean
obviously
found a
not a
photograph from the
photographer, and I don't
1800s
have a
that had
nice
Earthshine
camera,
on
so
it.
I've never tried. How
Something
do
like that.
you?
Whenever he
What do
comes
you
on,
do to get
he'll have a
Earthshine?
list of them, I'm sure. Well, this is a good example right here because these two pictures were taken of the same moon at the same time. Well, I say same time. I mean they were taken within a couple minutes of each other. But if you compare these two images right here, right? This image on the left right here, because I zoomed in on it really tight, the auto exposure exposed itself correctly to the sliver, right? To the part of the moon that was actually lit up at that moment. And so you can see that all this back here is really dark. Now, if you actually put this through some photo processing, I think you could actually see that there is a difference right here in the dark shade. So there probably is some information in there where you can see the dark side. But here's the same moon, like a minute later or a minute before. I can't remember which one was taken first. Let's see. So look, here's 4477 and 4479. So these were, this is two pictures later. And this one right here, I've actually got the exposure is it's being exposed for these clouds and surrounding area right here. And so you're actually getting that earth shine coming through. And this is obviously quite overexposed. And so that's really all you got to do is just overexpose your camera. And most people can put it in manual mode and just crank the exposure up, and you'll be able to get earth shine, especially on these, when the phase of the moon, when it's just after a new moon. I mean, it's just
because you want it right out. Yeah, you said right
again.
after new moon or right after a full moon.
Probably
right?
the best time to get it,
or right before a full moon.
And on the other side as well. What are they called? Geo knows these names. Waxing something.
Mm-hmm.
You want it right out? Yeah, you said right after new moon or right after.
Right after new moon or right before new moon. So like whenever there's just a very small sliver, that's the best time because the geometry of the situation, like whenever the moon is in this orientation right here, right, it has more earth shine that's actually there to be shining against the moon. So whenever you see more of the moon, well, there's also less earth shine that's actually getting to the dark side. So it's based on the geometry of where the moon and the earth are at that time. Where's the bright side of the earth and the bright side and the dark side of the moon? And so you get, as the lunar cycle goes through, you have opportunities like this one where it's easier to see the earth shine. And for anybody to just blatantly say, oh, there's no such thing as earth shine, period. Like him arguing about the eclipse,
one of the things that I pointed.
Yeah,
one of the things that I pointed out in my video was that
existing period is just
because you're not the only
lunacy.
one who says that Earthshine is saying is that there
you can
are
literally
websites
go outside and see
there are pictures dating back from like there's probably
these
older, but I found one from 2008, like a 2008 eclipse, and that somebody, I think Alson Wong, I think was his name, got Earthshine on that eclipse, and then timeanddate.com has like has a whole instructions on how to get it, and you can find out how to get it. Like it's not that difficult.
Right. That was a very popular one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, you're not sending a rocket out into space.
It's
kind of difficult.
Well,
this is
it's not easy to do unless you practice it. But if you practice it, it's easy enough. It's not impossible. Like the way he makes it up. Yes, exactly. It literally comes down to you figure out how to get Earthshine in these type of scenarios, like what type of exposure levels you need, and just to replicate that whenever it comes down to the eclipse time. Now, I didn't do enough practice clearly whenever I went to the eclipse. I actually left the eclipse thinking that I hadn't got Earthshine, or not. Well, I knew I had gotten Earthshine, but it was like not good enough because I had used my 6-inch telescope and I attached my T5 and I was manually aiming, and it was not very easy at all to center up the moon. And so the exposure that actually was the right level, the moon was only half visible in that frame. So I did get Earthshine with that other camera, and I do have the RAW, the CR2.
So apparently, and the stream seems to not be working.
He's been given
very
that
good
image.
at all.
So he keeps asking for raw images.
So that seems to be on the sort of the YouTube side of things. So we might have to not end this. So I mean, you might all have to go away for a second. Not end this, but I might have to do this using Hangout on Air or whatever Google Hangouts system. So this stream is gonna have to end here for a second. But if you just stick to my channel, the stream will start up again in like a minute or two. And at that point, we will have Soundly will still be here, and Gia will still be here, and we will be sending out invites for all the other guests who will be joining us. Does that sound good with everybody? All right. So we will see you all in a little bit, because yeah, I gotta fix this. So.